with the Nicole Collier, Texas State Representative for District 95. How are you?
Hey, Ebony. How are you doing, everybody? I'm doing really good. Thank you so much.
And when I say how are you, I mean like really because this administration has been coming aiming for Texas.
They coming for all of us, actually. They want to, the Trump administration is really working hard to silence the voices of black and brown people. They really are. And they do it every single day. And we've got to make sure that we watch out for that. Look out for those subtle things that they do that turn into large-scale infringement of our rights.
Let's talk about gerrymandering, because we are all watching massive gerrymandering happening in Texas, and it is creating the erasure of black districts. We're seeing what's happening with Jasmine Crockett, Representative Al Green. So where are we? Let people know who haven't been caught up in what's happening. Describe what's happening and what will happen next.
Sure. So Texas is a majority minority state. Majority black, brown, and Asian.
And the largest amount of black folk.
14%, the largest amount of any other state of black people
Texas.
live together in Texas. Yes. So Texas is a majority minority, and yet the Republicans have managed to draw congressional seats that would be 80%, nearly 80% white.
When I saw the drawing, like it looked like some Edward Scissorhands. Like, how did you do that? And they're standing 10 toes down, and it's not based on race.
It is. The effect is to disenfranchise, to reduce the voting power. So when they start chopping us up, meaning that they split us up, so they take more. Take all the black people out or take out the Hispanics, and they can't work together to elect the candidate of their choice. It becomes a white district. Whites are not even the majority in Texas, but yet they will have the majority of seats. And so this is where we got to say, no, we're going to draw the line. We are not going to stand for that, because what you're doing is trying to devalue who I am and what I can do in my power to elect my candidate. They're choosing who should be elected, not the voters. And so we've got to say no more. Realize that they've taken away our power.
Then we saw Democrats initially try to flee the state so that the vote could not go forward.
We did, we did.
And you did. What and some came back, caved in, but what does that fight look like now? What is possible now?
Yeah, so we do believe as Democrats in the Texas legislature that this map that they've drawn violates Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act.
Yes.
But we need the Supreme Court to uphold the Voting Rights Act. So that's another thing that's at play. But there's a case that has been filed against these maps. So the hearing starts October 1st. We're taking it to the courts, but we're also going to take it to the ground, because that's where it happens, the people.
Let's talk about that ground. And I want everybody to put October 1st on your calendar, because there are some dates that we need to watch and be in community and support each other in and know what's going on, because what's happening in Texas is going to be happening everywhere. We're seeing even Democrats in other states fight back and say, if you redistrict in Texas, we're going to redistrict here.
That's right.
And so there's a continuous fight. And so let's talk about some other movement that the Democrats are doing on the ground in this area.
Yeah. So, of course, we've talked to the governor of California.
Gavin Newsom is on it. He's doing it.
Proposition 50, we need that to pass. I'm going to be down there helping them make sure that we can get that measure passed so that they can redraw their lines.
Right. Here in Maryland, just one seat.
One seat. We got to save that.
Yes.
The governor, Moore, said he's looking at it. New York governor's looking at it. It's going to be a little bit harder for them, but other states, Illinois, they're all looking at it. He's coming for Indiana, though. The Trump administration is trying to come for Indiana because they have a super minority, and they just don't have anything really to fight. But that's why we got to be ready and turn out the ground game. We need voters who have never showed up to come out and vote, because it's all on the line right now.
Absolutely.
You talk about with the building's on fire, it is on fire. And that means we all got to get out and vote.
And there we have seen, with precision, Republicans all over try to pass unfair voting laws.
Yeah.
And it is continuous. I don't want people to think that it has stopped or they have let up, but they are finding new ways to disenfranchise black and brown voters. What is your hope? 2026 is around the corner.
It is. You're absolutely right. It's around the corner. And that's why we got to get out there find our friends and knock on those doors, our neighbors. Because usually, if I'm going to talk to somebody and recommend a vote, I want to hear from somebody I already know. And if they've given me some information, then I can trust them a little bit more. Like, oh, okay, this is the right, person.
Right.
And so it's just building those relationships. But one thing that I really want us to be mindful of is, who is your representative? What do they stand for? Find out who that is. Ask them 3 questions that matter to you, and find out where they stand. If they don't align with you, now I'm not talking about 3 out of 3, because it may not be that way.
Right.
But if you have the majority of their responses align with you, then that's your candidate.
I love it.
But if they don't align with you, then they got to go.
Got to go.
They have got to go. And that's what people forget. We forget about our power, our voting power.
Talk about that, because I think we got to realize that those who we elect are in a servant's role.
That's right. They work for you. I work for my people. And we can't let that go. Don't give up. Don't voluntarily relinquish your power.
Yes.
Our ancestors fought so hard for this. They fought hard for us to be able to vote, and we just can't just give it away without doing anything.
Because let the people know what's at stake.
Oh, let me tell you, free speech. Let me tell you, they coming for free. This is the tactic that that Project 2025 is real.
It's real.
We need our own.
And in operation.
It is in operation right now, but we need our own plan. We need to get a plan together that we combat and push back and stop being on the defense, but we got to get on the offense now as Democrats. I'm a Democrat, so I want to make sure that we're on the offense, pushing an agenda, something that we stand for, and pushing back what we don't stand for. And so we need to make sure that we have something, because they're trying to intimidate us with these, restrictions on free speech.
Absolutely.
And that's what, standing up takes courage and risk. There are risks involved.
Yes.
But we need to be able to fill the gap when somebody stands up. So if my sister loses her job because she pushed back and said something, then I need to come back and be able to say, hey, girl, do you need anything? What can I do? Because back in the civil rights era, that's what they did. If somebody tried to vote and they lost their job, then the community came and surrounded them with love.
I love that. You talked about strategy and an agenda. How do you feel being here at CBCF, this conference where so much strategy is being talked about, and what the agenda is going forward? How's it been? What are you going back with from this conference?
This is my first time coming into CBC,
oh,
and
I
know. what I like about it are the topics that we're covering.
Okay.
Because this can be the way that some people who may not be as aware can learn about how Black women are dying in childbirth, how our brothers are being locked up, and why our numbers are stagnant. Why hasn't our population grown as Black people? Well, let's talk about some of the restrictions and limitations that they put on us. When we have in Texas, the Blacks are overrepresented in prison. We're a third of the prison population. Why is that? And we're only 14% of the entire state. Our communities are over-policed, underfunded. Our schools are underfunded. I mean, I can go on and on what's going on, and that's why it takes all of us, and we need strong soldiers that are willing to stand up and fight and not take the scraps that they're trying to give us. Because they're trying to give us scraps. They'll say, oh, I'll give you this. Why I take that and you're not really taking care of my people?
Right. Man, I love it. Oh, I love it. Fire, fire, fire. Before we go, I just want you to give, for those who may not know you and be familiar, let's talk about, just really quickly, some of the success you've had with your own district. I just want you to just brag a little bit on what you've been able to do.
In Texas, there's a Juneteenth. Juneteenth came to Texas.
Yes.
And so we have a museum, a national Juneteenth museum in my district, and we're getting money. I got the state to invest $11 million into it. So we're working with that. We're working against our jails, where too many people are dying in our county jails. So we're putting in legislation. And let me tell you, I was a teen mom. I had my first baby at 16. People never thought I was going to do anything. Nobody expected, except for my mama and my daddy. But anybody else never really thought I was going to be able to do anything. They discounted me. And I've always had to rise above the challenges. And I don't know anything other than to try to survive.
Come on, that's our story.
That is our story. And that's why the Black women are always the ones who stand up. It's the one that they started, and then we together finish it.
Yeah,
And that's what
yeah,
I expect
yeah.
us to do in this moment. We're going to finish this race.
Texas State Representative Colliers, thank you so much for your work, your tenacity, for staying in the fight, especially now when I know it is not easy. We standing here, with a smile on our face,
Yeah.
but there is a fight that is literally happening in this very moment.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for the work that you do. And we would love to always have you back on AURN.
All right. Thank you, Ebony.
Absolutely.